In this video, we're going to show you to install the sway bar frame bushings on your Honda Ridgeline located on your sway bar. Using a 22mm socket, you want to go ahead and loosen and remove your lug nuts. Now that you have your lug nuts removed, grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now with the front wheel off, you go ahead and locate your sway bar. It runs behind the engine and comes around, and then it connects to your sway bar end link. Now we're going to use a 14mm shallow socket on the back bolt here. Now in most cases, you might need to use some rust penetrant and or some heat to go ahead and loosen this. Then you have the front one here. What we want to do is just kind of break them free, and then hopefully we can transfer over to a power tool to go ahead and loosen these. Now we had to heat up our bolt to get that rear one out. We're going to let that bolt cool off a little before we go ahead and reach in there and pull that out. Use a pair of pliers here to reach in there and grab that bolt, pull that out. Then we have our bracket right here. We're going to use our flathead screwdriver. You can use a small pry bar if you want, but you can see you're just lifting up on that bracket. Ours is still warm from using a torch, but normally you can just reach in and grab that and slide that off. Then you have the bushing here. And sometimes use a pry bar to go ahead and lift up on that a little bit. You can also undo your sway bar end link if you want to, but in most cases you can just go ahead and work this up and off. Now before you install the new bushing, there's some cleaning you want to do. You want to clean the frame side here. And you also want to inspect the sway bar itself. You want to make sure that there's not all rusted or big chunks of rust built up here. So go ahead and give it a spray. I'm just going to use some spray solvent. Clean that up. Now if you do have some rust on there, go ahead and you can probably use like a 400 grit sandpaper and clean that sway bar shaft. If it is rusted really bad, you really should replace the sway bar. You don't want this to snap while you're driving. Wipe down the frame. If the frame is rusted there, go ahead and clean that up as well. Now with everything cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and install our new bushing. It has a split in it, so you're just basically going to work that split around that. You use your pry bar. So we can go ahead and get that. Go ahead and move our sway bar over into position. You want to make sure that your bracket is nice and clean on the inside as well. Go ahead and do an overall inspection. If that bracket is super rusty and it looks like it's going to break, go ahead and replace these too. Go ahead and install your bracket and push that down. Let's go ahead and get our bolt started. Now I do want to get these started several threads, but I don't obviously want to tighten these down yet because I want to make sure I can get that forward one in a few threads. use my deep socket on that back bolt. That's going to help me get a grip on that bolt to go ahead and get that started, a few threads. I'll switch over to our ratchet. Now at this point, we'll go ahead and evenly tighten these down and bottom out the bolts, and we'll snug those down. Now our rear bolt is good and tight. Let's go ahead and tighten down the front bolt. I want to torque these down to 29 foot-pounds. Now we can go ahead and install the front wheel. I'm going to repeat this process for the other side. Okay, and grab that wheel. Line that up. Let's go ahead and get our lug nuts all started by hand. Once these are all started, I'm going to go ahead and snug them all down. Torque down your lug nuts to 94 foot-pounds. When doing this, you want to do this in a crisscross or star pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.